Bruce Grindlay here, the principal of Rugby School Thailand. Bruce, just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you were before Rugby School Thailand, how you ended up being the principal of this magnificent school.
Yes, of course. I was a head in the UK in Kent for 12 years before coming out here. It was a big boarding school, but still the same as here, going 2 to 18. And having done 13 years there, I also opened a school during that time in China. And doing that and learning about the international side of things made me really excited to try and look into what is a very interesting sort of style of education. And so with my children both being of an age where they could, at university and had their own lives going on, it was a great time to go and see what there was. So I knew Peter Green, who is the head of rugby UK, very well, good friend. And when this job came up and they decided to create a principal role over all the 3 schools, he approached me. And then I got to meet the owners, the Teeps ones, who I got on with extremely well, and it just seemed like a really good move.
Very good. So no regrets?
No regrets at all. This is a fabulous school, and I really like the international sector because I think it's very young, it's very creative, it's nimble, it's much more forward-thinking, and it's truly global. And you know, life moving forward is truly global. And I think there's a lot of educational systems in Europe which aren't outward-looking, outward-facing enough to recognise that actually this sort of environment is very much, you know, the workplace of the future.
Can you tell me a little bit about sort of an overview of the values, the ethos that Rugby School Thailand holds dear?
Yeah, I mean, that very strong strapline, the whole person, the whole point, is really important because it sums it up in the fact that person is singular. It's not plural, it's each individual child here. It's trying to sort of, I suppose, filter down and sort of clarify that idea of what independent schools in the UK have done for years, which is that sort of DNA of how do we turn out people who are happy, successful, not arrogant, but really ready for the next step. And I don't think many schools have managed to actually define that clearly. But actually, if you take the things that matter, so your pastoral care, that everyone feels that they're really looked after and cared for, and you make that sense of feeling like you belong and you're happy, then the next thing is then to say, okay, well, what drives you? What are your passions? What do you love doing? And that's your enrichment and co-curricular stuff. And if you can find the thing that you love, you'll always stay engaged. And when you're engaged, you're learning all sorts of transferable skills that you can then bring into that final part, which is the academic success, which is literally just creating that passport for the next step. You've got great A-level results, you've got great GCSE results, you can now go to a great job or a great university. But all those things are inextricably linked. And that's what the whole person, the whole point is about. It's not about saying it's all about holistic and making sure we're doing, it's because everything feeds into each other. So a happy child will be an engaged child. An engaged child will be even more engaged doing the stuff they love. Then they'll tackle the things they're not doing so well. So it's that whole ethos, which I think really clearly is defined here, much more so than many schools, who all do those bits, but it's how they link together that's so important.
But I think just to back that up, the fact that you've been open now, I think this is your 8th year. Is it your 8th or your 9th year?
9th year?
Your 9th year, apologies. And that has been very much at the core, the whole person, the whole point, all the extra stuff that happens at rugby. And I think that the academic results, both at IGCSE and A-level, have proved that what you're saying in terms of all of the extra stuff really does help ultimately then the academics.
Yeah, because reading, you know, that value added, the improvement that the children get. You know, our A-level results using the data by Alice should have been, the A stars for this last cohort should have been 4%. We got 30%.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's extraordinary. And 30% was the highest of all the rugby schools, higher than Rugby UK, higher than Rugby Japan. Because of that, so, and it is because happy children, engaged children, will learn to do things better and are also happy then to work. So that was fantastic. And if you can measure everything in the journey you travel, the distance you travel, rather than where you started from or where you finish, you know, those terminuses are not important. The distance travelled is what's important. And so I'm really happy to see people who have predicted D's get B's. Great. Yeah. And they'll get another job interview, they'll get another university place. But if you don't make a difference, you're not
doing your job.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so just your vision then for Rugby School Thailand moving forward, sort of in the short term and the long term future of the school. What do you want to achieve?
What we want to achieve is we want to get to a position whereby, you know, that sixth form, which is currently around 110, 115, gets up to the full capacity when the school gets full, and that sits at over 200 in there. And of those 200, we want to be feeding them into the global universities. But also we want to look forward a lot, because there's no doubt that the A-levels and GCSEs are great, but all examinations are very much last century. And we need to be, whatever we actually sit as a qualification, what they need to be learning are those truly human creative skills that absorb AI and technology and use it in a way that is very, very human. Someone wrote about this idea of, if AI is like the racing horse, you need to train the jockeys. You'll never compete with the racing horse. It'll always be faster than you, and it'll be better than you. But you can be the jockeys that harness that and ride it. And we need to create those. So at the same time, in an ideal world, you'd scrap all those qualifications and have a very much different curriculum, very much more interrelated, very much more project-based. But actually, people respect the qualifications, and until they change, we will always do those, because they are just that passport. But what goes on behind that, I think, has to be really innovative. And it is those human, everyone pushes on sort of, how much you know about coding, how much you know about computing. You only need one person to create a program. You only need one coder. But you need to create a whole bunch of humans who can really harness it. So that's what I think we really need to work on, so that you are creating much more, as almost vocational and technological awareness, but the human attributes that harness that power, because that will be an awfully long time before any technology can do that.
I like that analogy of the racehorse and the jockey. I'm going to use that one, yeah. Finally then, we are going to finish now. Why are you wearing a kilt today? We should have maybe covered that at the very beginning, but why are you wearing why can we see your knees, Bruce?
You can see my knees, which are a rare sight. Because it's International Day, and I'm half Scottish, my father's Scottish, and so everyone here is wearing their own national costume. The difficulty is that England doesn't have a national costume.
No.
Yeah, and it's really quite sad, because everyone will end up wearing football shirts. But it's hard to find that. But what I love about International Day is because everyone is showing how proud they are in their individual nationhood, but in so doing, they're showing that underneath all of that, humanity is exactly the same. And that's really powerful. So it's a great day, and it's a lovely way to roll into half term, which is what to do.
Hopefully we might see a little bit as well. Bruce, thank you very much.
Very nice.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Good. Lovely.
All right.